Do you have a love-hate relationship with slaw? Today I'm going to share with you 2 simple recipes for sweet and savory slaw. Welcome to All Things Food with John Woods. I love to cook, but I cook to love. So let's talk food. Today we're making slaw. You cannot have a fish fry without having slaw in the South. And I'm going to show you how to make some really good recipes. Over the years I've noticed though in my catering, people have their ideas about slaw. You have that group over here that, oh hooray, I love slaw, give me more of it. And you have this group over here, don't get that anywhere near me, I will never eat slaw. And they absolutely hate slaw. Why that is, I don't know. I think they just bought too much at the supermarket. I'm going to show you today how to make the very best slaw. I want you to love slaw after you watch this video today. All right, one of the keys to successful cooking is to do a French term called mise en place, which means everything in its proper place. It's so frustrating to cook something and then you get down there and you're putting it all together and oh, I realize I left out this ingredient or I forgot this ingredient. Then you're hopping in the car and you're going down to Kroger or Walmart to buy the ingredient, coming back to make your recipe. So we're going to make certain everything's in its proper place to make delicious slaw. We have our slaw. Just go to the store and buy some already pre-chopped. Unless you're real energetic, then you can buy a head of cabbage and do your thing, show off your knife skills. So we have slaw. 2 recipes today. We're going to use mayonnaise in one, onions, pepper, sugar. Notice we're not using salt. We're going to take this recipe and build on it, and we're going to add vinegar to this recipe, so that gives us 2 recipes. That gives us a mayonnaise-based recipe, and that gives us a mayonnaise and a vinegar base, and the vinegar just gives it that little extra kick, that little extra touch. If you like Colonel Sanders slaw, you're going to love it with this in here as well. Now, if you don't want the mayonnaise, what you can do is use this and then use you a little bit of salad oil to give you that component that you're losing with the mayonnaise. So those are the ingredients. We have them all gathered together and we're ready to make some delicious slaw for our fish fry. So we're going to add our little bag of slaw mix here. That's 16 ounces. Now you're going to get about 8 servings out of a 1-pound bag as a rule of thumb. Now when you start making it really good, you're going to have to make more slaw. I'm going to put a little sugar in. You notice I'm not measuring this out. I just have done it so many times I kind of know. I'm going to give you a recipe in the link below here so you can make it the same every time. But I'm going to kind of wing it today. So I put my sugar in. I'm going to put my pepper in right over here. And I use coarse pepper, by the way. Just so much nicer. Shake it all together. Now you notice that there's one ingredient that I did not put in. We love salt. Salt's great. I don't put salt in my slaw. Why is that? Because salt will pull the water out of the cabbage and it will make a runny slaw. So when I make this slaw and it's in the refrigerator for an hour, 2 hours or whatever, I don't want to go in and have all that moisture in the bottom of my slaws. If someone wants salt, they can do that at the table. So we have our dry ingredients, the sugar, the pepper. Put in some onions according to taste. You don't have to put these in, but I like onions in my slaw. And then we're going to come over here and again we're going to put mayonnaise in. Just put a little bit in to your taste, whatever kind of mayonnaise you like. It's, again, your preference. Everyone has their favorites. So I'm going to put a little mayonnaise in here. We add a little bit of vinegar. I don't recommend you doing this over this, but I've done it so many times. I'd recommend it pouring it in something and then adding it. Because once you put it in, you cannot get it out. It's better to add than to take away. So we're going to mix this up real good. And like any great good chef, cook, you always taste your product. So I have a little spoon over here. I promise you I'm not going to double dip. Absolutely perfect. Let me just remind you, even though I had this vinegar up here, this apple cider vinegar, which is my preference, you don't have to add it. If you don't like vinegar, don't add it to the slaw, just use your mayonnaise over here. It's going to be a perfectly fine slaw. I did it for years, and then One day I just decided to add this, and I just love it with the vinegar. Now look at that delicious homemade slaw. So good with a catfish fry, and especially put this stuff on a Memphis-style barbecue sandwich, and oh, your friends are really gonna love you. This is John Woods. I love to cook, but I also cook to love. Be sure to check out my playlist, 50 Ways to Love a Catfish, and hit the subscribe button. Learn more ways to love to cook, but yet cook to love.